Hey, it's your girl April J, owner of WPB Networks. Make sure you go to our all-new website, WPBnetworks.com, where you can check out WPB Radio, WPB Gospel, and our all-new pop station, Hot 695. All right, so go right now to your computer, type in WPBnetworks.com for your non-stop interactive radio station.
We'd like to welcome you back to WPB Networks, the future of media. This is the Glover Report. My name is Donnie Glover. We have with us Geraldine Day. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
She's the boss lady. Don't get it twisted. She got a 45 automatic in that pocketbook with a Holy Bible. And we got Ray Banks with us. How you doing, Mr. Ray Banks?
I'm doing fine.
He want me to look there. He's the exhibits manager for the Hubert V. Simmons Museum of Negro Leagues Baseball. And of course, Miss Geraldine Day was married to Leon Day, and she has been an advocate of Mr. Leon Day. Let me just share a little bit of history. Leon Day, Negro Leagues, 1934 to 1949, used deceptive, no wind-up, short-arm delivery to compile impressive single-season and career statistics during 10 years in Negro Leagues. Also played baseball in Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, Mexico, and Canada. Como está, señor? Set Negro National League record in 1942 with 18 strikeouts in one game. He must have had a mean curveball. Hurled a no-hitter on opening day 1946 for the Newark Eagles versus Philadelphia Stars, and he pitched in a record 7 Negro League All-Star games. Wow. How was that? You were married to a legend.
Yes.
That makes you a legend.
Yes, not really, you know.
Is the history important?
Yes, history is very important to our young people.
Why, Ms. Geraldine?
They don't know Black history because they never, well, like when I was in school, we didn't have Black history. We always read about you know, all the white events that they've done that thing. We didn't read about like the Cool Papa Bell, Leon Day, Josh Gibson, and you know, you didn't read about those people that really went through something when they were, you know, play baseball. They went through a whole lot, and I think our young people should know that. I think they should know that right now they have the whole world in their hand. They don't have to go in the back doors to eat.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
They don't have to, you know, like stay in other Black people homes. They couldn't stay in the hotels, you know, and they had to stay in other Black people homes whenever they travel. The children should know all of this, and those guys, they made it. They made it. They come out up top because they just ate up what the white folks was ditching out to them, you know. And they made it. And some of these young kids, they can't make it to the 8th grade, you know, before they already done picked up on drugs. They done picked up on something. They caught themselves from them fell in love, and you know, and all of this, and they just, you know, they just can't. But I believe that if they could get the news out about how these Black ball player played, how they had to play baseball. They didn't have a baseball. They played in car pastors, you know. They didn't have a field to play in, like go down the Camden Yard, you know, things like that.
And they were better.
And they was way better. They was. I met this. Leon was out. We was in part of New Jersey, Hackensack, New Jersey. And Leon was on a show. So this little old white man came up, and he saw Leon. He started crying. And he was saying that, you know, how his father took him to to see the black players. He says his father said, why should we pay more money to go and see these white guys, and when they can't play, when we could play 50 cents to go and see somebody that play baseball, to see a baseball game. So no, those guys, they really
we have no concept about a 50-cent ticket. We have no concept of playing on a field, a cow pasture. We think of artificial turf. We think of a limousine taking us to the game. We're not as grateful, I don't think, Miss Geraldine.
No, and those they played for the love of the game. They wasn't playing for how much money that they can make. My husband, my late husband, when he started out playing, he played for a whole season for nothing. They promised him that he would get $60 a month, but he didn't get that.
But I commend you. Because them sisters ain't going for that today. Times have changed. Yes. Gotta bring up that money. You better stop playing baseball. You encouraged them. You had to be, it was a team effort. We salute you. I'm sure he does.
That's right.
Come on before you start me to crying up there. Ray Banks, you started all this. What are all of these beautiful... You saw the president too?
Yes, we did.
Where you at in this picture? I don't see you.
I'm sitting down there.
As you know, right there. You saw him. Was the president nice to you?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he was.
I haven't met him yet. I did meet the dog. The dog was nice.
Oh, yes, he was. After he finished doing his speech there.
Did he appreciate the Negro League?
Yes, he did. He stood up and said how he appreciated the Negro League and how he talked about how they opened the doors. They was the one that opened the doors for the other black players, and how he really, appreciate the Negro League. And then after the speech was over, he stood around. He went to every one of us and he hugged us and
You hugged
shook
the president?
Oh yes, he kissed me right over here.
What? Mr. Leon, I don't know if you can handle all that kissing on him. All right. What's the mission?
Our mission right now, as Ms. Day alluded to, is to teach the children, the youth, and a lot of the adults as well, to understand the real meaning of why these ball players of today are making mega dollars due to the foundation that took place back in the 1800s. I'm praying that the schools will allow us to go in Baltimore City schools as well as the Baltimore County system in order to make Negro League baseball a curriculum in schools. It's needed. It's long forgotten.
There go you black people. Always want to teach black history, trying to empower your young people.
Well, not only did the Negro Leagues play ball, but it was the door that was opened up to the Latino players back then in the day, like Manny Minoso, Cuban Latinos. Manny Minoso also played in the Negro League. There was a player by the name of Manito Navarro who died at the age of 105 years old. We met him about 2 years ago down in Orlando, Florida. But it was a movement way before busing.
But tell me about the money.
The money itself that these guys never made back then. Some played, as Mrs. Day alluded to, for the love of the game. Some made $200 a month. Some only got 35 cents, 50 cents. They didn't make any money. Satchel Paige made some money because of who he was as far as an entertainer and the skills that he was so blessed to have in pitching. The other players, Monty Irvin, of course, come out of the Negro Leagues along with Jackie Robinson. He was the first one to become a major league ball player in the National Leagues. But if you get back to the other players that came out, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, and Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks also came out. There were a lot of the major league players that played baseball back then in the Negro League, and the doors were open up to them to play in the majors. There's a lot of history besides behind us.
Should they have integrated into the major leagues, or would we have been better off just keeping our own thing?
When
we played better. I figured we would eventually.
We did.
Would have done better.
Yes.
Just like the ones that you had on before us. like the
for
the black have their own team, black have their own manager, the blacks have their own,
because I can count money real good.
Blacks,
I don't need nobody count my money.
I in Chicago at the Comiskey Park. They had over what 35,000. They drew over 35,000 people there. The Negro League did.
Wow. And you said it wasn't no money. That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't associate the fan base back then. These people used to come out of church, and the guys used to wear the Panama straw hats, and ladies wore the big hats coming out of church, galvanizing to the
looking good,
the game, looking good at the game.
We don't look like that.
They were packed.
No.
They were packed. And when Jackie Robinson was taken from the Negro League, Larry Doby and Roy Campanella, Branch Rickey had an idea. Take the better players, and not only take the better players, but also take players that the fans would want to go see. So the decline of the Negro League took place because the better players were coming out of the Negro League going to professional baseball, and all the people who supported back then in the day, the revenue was there. And he knew that if the players would come, the revenue would follow, and the revenue did follow. So when that took place, that was the decline of Negro League baseball. When you think about it, we had something that is not happening today. We had a togetherness. We had unity amongst our folks that's lacking today.
I wanted to ask you specifically about Curt Flood.
Curt Flood never received his just due. He was a man that stood out by himself. He had no one to support him.
I mean, I know he wasn't Negro League.
Yes.
He was the St. Louis Cardinals, and they traded him around.
Yes.
But he is significant to this continuum of black history, right, Curt Flood?
Yes, he is. And
Tell us why.
And he was also the one who spoke out in reference to the ball players not being used as cattle a lot.
That's where free agency come from.
That's right. The word free agency.
Because of him. Curt Flood sued baseball.
He sued baseball.
And won.
He won it. But in winning that, despite what took place physically and mentally with him, he played no more.
He got beat up.
Yes, he got beat up. His own folks beat him up as well. Everybody pointed the finger at him.
He was one of the best of his time.
Yes, he was.
And he said, "You're not going to trade me like a slave."
Like a slave, exactly.
And he sued baseball.
Yes, he did.
And won.
He won. That's the sad part. And a lot of players don't know this today.
How can you be a pro baseball player making millions of dollars and you don't know who Curt Flood is?
That's right.
I'm ashamed of the American educational system.
Yes. Not only Curt
Flood. I bet
Flood,
you Barack Obama know about Curt Flood.
He has a little bit of history with him. We met him at the White House. It was mentioned earlier. He had some history with him. But do you know?
He at least know to go to Google.
Yes, he can go to Google.
But he's come to Baltimore and said some impressive things.
Yes.
To show that he took time to read up. About Black history.
About Black history.
That's nice.
He's very concerned about that.
I don't think Anthony Brown went and read up on our history.
I believe you're right.
I'm getting ready to switch topics. My bad.
But as far as the, like Joe Morgan did mention on the air one day as a commentator and a baseball player.
Joe Morgan from the Cincinnati
Reds, second baseman.
He had that old funny.
He had that funny flinch, the timing of the baseball when the pitch was pitched to him. He mentioned quite a while ago that he didn't know some of the names of the Negro League ball players. He was able to admit this over the air. It's a lot of the ball players that I feel should know why they're there where they are as far as making a lot of money. The Baltimore Ravens called us up, myself and two ball players, a couple years ago, and asked us, would you please come up to the Ravens camp to teach the young rookies about staying on course and explain to these guys what you guys went through back in the day and taking all the abuse. And it was amazing to meet the Raven players, the rookie players, but they understood where these guys came from. They understood what they went through as far as keeping them out of trouble. And we've done a lot to talk about Negro League baseball, and not from a baseball point of view all the time, but it's educational, means a lot. The kids need to know where they come from. Leon Days Park, they have a park down there. The kids at Leon Days Park, all Little League kids should have a packet and know that Leon Day was a Negro League baseball player. Every player that plays in the Little League today should understand about these men, and not only the little kids, but as far as the adults as well.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't share with you that I'm a member of James Mosier Baseball.
All right.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
we have a lot of love for Black history.
Yes,
and,
you do.
The significance of having people
Yes.
continue to tell the story.
Yes.
What do you think of where we are going today, Miss Geraldine? Black people, all $65 million jets on reality shows, women in dresses rolling around on the ground. It's like we had more common sense back in the day.
I don't want to comment on that because
Bust them upside the head.
you know,
The girls need to wear some dresses, men wear some suits.
Dresses, right?
Yes.
Dresses
Half
and
naked
things.
coming out there.
It's ridiculous, and I wouldn't want to comment on that because my late husband always used to tell me, black people is like a bushel of crabs. At the time, I didn't understand what he was saying. He was saying, so I didn't understand what he was saying. So now he said, if you ever go into this to the down there, Lexington Market, and look at them crabs, he said, you watch them. He said, every time one try to get at the top, another one reach and grab him and pull him down. So a lot of black, we are not unity. I'll put it like that, because just like they said, you put a black person in office, you thinking they're gonna be for the blacks, but it's all the way around different whenever they get in the office. They're not for the blacks. They're not for the blacks.
Do you vote?
I vote.
I ain't trying to get you in no trouble, but I'm voting for next year, 2016, in the city of Baltimore.
Republic.
We voting like for a difference. I like Sheila Dixon.
Sheila was all right.
Woo, got
Sheila,
endorsement.
Right. Sheila was all right.
Negro League.
Yeah.
Sheila.
Yep. Sheila Dixon was all right. Sheila Dixon was for the Negro Leagues and the players and things, and she was behind us.
Getting all of this, you don't want to lose this. This is important data.
She was behind us.
As a matter of fact, there was a program that took place at City Hall during the time that Sheila Dixon was the mayor. As a matter of fact, we were invited down the exhibit. The little kids played baseball on that grass between City Hall and the War Memorial, and she was for all of that. It was a beautiful day. Everybody got along. The kids had a good time. They were dressed up in their old uniforms, the Homestead Graves, the Baltimore Black Sox, and the Baltimore Line Giants. We had a wonderful time doing that, and I'm prayerfully that it'll happen again.
So who are these people that we have back here? I know that's Josh.
Yes.
On the first and third panel.
Yeah.
What we got back there?
First panel, you have Bucko Leonard, who played for the Homestead Graves. Now,
that's not Josh.
That's not Josh.
That's Buck Leonard.
Some books will have their faces mixed up, names on the wrong places and all. But Buck,
because to some white folk, we look alike.
We look alike, exactly.
I've seen that in a lot of history. You go look at the pictures. That's not Michael Jackson.
That's right.
That's Al Jarreau.
That's right. But Buck Leonard was noted to be the black Lou Gehrig. He could hit so much.
Buck Leonard.
Buck Leonard.
Buck Leonard.
There were 3 black females who played in the Negro League.
Whoa!
3 women, folks.
I didn't know this. 3 women.
3 women. This is Connie Morgan.
That is a woman.
This is a woman here.
She's
one of the 3, and she played for a team called the Indianapolis Clowns, in which the Hank Aaron also played.
This is women's
for the same
history.
team.
What's her name?
Connie Morgan.
Connie Morgan.
Connie Morgan. Yeah.
3 women in the league. I did not know that.
Infielder.
One is still living.
And she was good.
One is still living.
One is still living. Mamie Peanut Johnson is the only survivor out of the 3. She lives in Washington, D.C.
Mamie Peanut Johnson.
Mamie Peanut Johnson.
With a nickname like Peanut, she must have been a good player.
She was a good player. Matter of fact, her picture's a little lady with a hand up in the air.
Oh, yeah? That's Peanut.
That's Mamie. That's Mamie Peanut Johnson.
Oh, wow.
That's Mamie Peanut Johnson. She's a pitcher.
That's a girl.
Yeah. That's the second one. And the fellow here is the hardest hitter, the home run king of all time.
That's Josh Gibson.
That's Josh Gibson. Josh will never get the credit that he deserves, and I'm praying that Major League Baseball one day put his name over top of everybody else's name with an asterisk next to it. And in the middle, we have Leon Day, inducted in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown in 1995. As a matter of fact, I won't be doing what I'm doing today. I met Miss Geraldine Day in 1996, and because of her, I felt her passion. I continue to do what I'm doing because of Miss Geraldine Day.
Is that Bert Simmons?
That's Bert Simmons.
That Bert Simmons?
Yes, that's who the museum is named after.
Well, that was
Now you know who that.
Is that Satchel?
That's that.
That's right.
Okay, but Bert Simmons, ain't he from Baltimore?
Bert Simmons, born in Tarboro, North Carolina.
The man with the wavy hair?
The wavy hair. He was an educator.
Them girls
in
must like
Baltimore.
that wavy hair. But he
Yes.
was a James Mosier man.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
he was.
yes, he was.
I'm going to get
They
to
trying
that.
to give us, they trying
Oh, no. You saved the best for last. Like in James Mosier, Mr. Allen Meacham.
Mr. Meacham.
Mr. Meacham's a board member with our organization. Mr. Meacham also was my baseball coach back at Dunbar.
You went to Dunbar too?
I graduated at Dunbar in 1965.
Man, you
Yeah,
born
I'm a
under the best sign and you went to the best high school in
Best high
America.
school. That is correct.
Man, God's got favor all over you.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Now, I got to tell you this. I met your daughter. Your daughter came on my show.
Tanya Thomas. Yes.
Bullies. Your whole family full of bullies. She come
Yes.
on there and pushes.
Yes.
What kind of work does she do with sports?
Right now, she has a restaurant. Her and her husband, who's a chef, off of Yaconah at Loch Raven Boulevard, called Herb and Soul. And they do a lot of catering right now. But she still has her organization. It's called Ball. Black
So she
Athletes
came.
Lost
You're the
Legends.
reason about this.
Well,
You're the
yes,
reason
yes.
you
She's
encouraged her to get involved.
She's just taking it to a higher level. I'm still in the Stone Ages, as they say. I'm not computer savvy like she is.
You don't have a computer?
I have a computer.
You got a
But
Facebook account?
I don't have a Facebook account, but another reason why they say I'm in the Stone Ages is because I have this, and everything should be in my phone, of course. But it's
Dropping
not.
Hall, mentholatum,
Yes.
mental liptus. I might have to ask you for this one. Okay.
But she's doing well, and she mentioned that I think you interviewed her about
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. It was a
Okay.
good interview.
Okay, so Miss Geraldine, why do you do this? Why do you go around and share the history? I know I asked you the same question over again.
I would like to keep the Negro League plus my husband. I like to keep the legend alive. You know,
Have you ever met Coretta Scott King?
no,
We need
no,
to
I
get her.
didn't. No, I didn't.
You need to get her to meet Coretta Scott King.
You mean
just Coretta's gone, but I'm just thinking of famous people. Exactly.
I met and have pictures with Jackie Robinson with her.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Jackie Robinson.
you know,
Whoa.
and his daughter.
Wow. So
Yeah.
did you write a book?
No. So
Not yet, huh?
one is gonna come out. One they're writing on it now.
Can I tell you about that? My wife is about to end the book that she's doing on Mrs. Day, and my daughter.
And if you heard the book of Danny, Day, and the Devil, it should be out somewhere now. This guy named Raleigh, he wrote this book. Danny, that was Ray Dantry, right? Day, that was my late husband, and the Devil, that was Willie Wells. Okay, so Danny went in the Hall of Fame first. Leon went in after Danny, and Willie Wells went in after Leon. Now Raleigh didn't say, he never knew that was, you know, was going that will happen, you know. But that book is like from the horse's mouth. It's not like that, because a lot of these books you read, they add stuff in and all of that stuff, you know. And but this Danny Day and the Devil, and Leon went. Danny was living in Palm Spring, Florida. And I drove all the way down there too.
You drove all the way to Florida?
Yeah, I love driving. And
You've been all over the country.
And we went all the way down there. So this guy, he lived down there at the time. The one who wrote the book, he would bring his mic and everything. They sit out there on Danny's porch. It was all screened in and everything. And he would and he talked directly to Danny. He taped them and got the story from Danny and got the story from my husband at the same time. Now, those stories that in that book, you should, if you could find it, you should read it because it came right from Leon. Then he left, and Willie Wells was living in Texas at the time, and he went all the way to Texas, and he got Willie Wells' story about the Negro League book, playing ball.
Do you think we'll ever get it together?
No, not really. I really don't. Now you asked me for the truth and what I think.
My daddy said the same thing. God wouldn't put us here without some hope.
Well, we have hope. You just let them other people just dying on the hell, and you just keep on doing your thing, doing what you know that's what's right. But trying to, no, it won't. They're not gonna let us. They ain't gonna give us but just a little inch, and then they're gonna watch you like a hawk whenever they put you in office. They gonna, you better make sure you're right whenever you go in there, because they're gonna watch you. They're gonna watch you like a hawk. Every little thing that you do, it's gonna be put down. It's gonna put down. We like, I know I'm free. I know.
She knows she free. Did you get that? I don't know they're free today.
I know I'm free because Jesus Christ made me free. I'm free. I was a slave. See, I'm getting off the thing. I hope you understand. Now, I once was a slave to sin, but now I know I'm free from sin. I'm free. Because what these politics and all this stuff out there, they do, it don't bother me. It don't bother me at all. Like I've said, I'm a widow. And I know that society cheated my husband. But you know what? God is still taking care of me. They cheated him. Because, now they changed the rule. Okay, he could have been into the Hall of Fame. Okay, you make money after you get into the Hall of Fame, right? You should go up to Cooperstown. And when you see all these ball players, all the stores up there, they would come to the hotel and pick them up. Those guys be making over $100,000. Just sit and sign their name for 2 hours. So
when you write your book, you're gonna be up there signing some things for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000.
And see,
all you gotta do is put them in your book.
My husband could have been in. They wouldn't accept Roy Campanella vote through mail. He missed it by 1 vote, and the reason he missed it by that 1 vote, he didn't go into the Hall of Fame. So if he was in there, if he had a guy in there, I wouldn't even have to be where baseball, the sister team, wouldn't even have to be helping me out, because he would have made enough money for me to go on, to live.
Let me say this.
They live good too,
What do you need? You need anything?
Huh?
You need anything?
No, because I got, like I said, I got good luck. I got the Lord. He sees to me. He sees to me not to go hungry, not to even worry about nothing. And like I tell everybody, I have a rich father. My father's rich. But cause this stuff, this material stuff, all this other stuff, it don't bother me. It don't bother me at all.
I
drive a nice car.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I drive a nice car. I have a nice apartment, you know, and I know who it's coming from. It ain't coming from me. It coming from God. God said all good gift and all perfect gift comes from above. Yeah. He works and through by man. He works and through by, he use anyone he want to use to see after his children.
I want to say this to piggyback on what you just said, Mrs. Day. Even though we have a museum that we opened up last March the 27th at the New Orleans Mills Library, it's a free admission, open 7 days a week. On the third level, there's a dedication for Leon Day, and folks, you've got to come and see that. My dream is one day have
look into that camera and tell them your dream.
Have the Great Black Wax Museum on North Avenue to be able to have a wax figure of the only ball player from Baltimore who's in Cooperstown, inducted in the
Great Blacks and Wax don't have Leon Day?
Not 1995.
Do they know they don't have it?
They know that. I think Dr. Martin did tell me that she would reduce the price of getting a statue, a wax figure of Mr. Day, but I need everyone's help in fulfilling this dream.
How much you need?
It's going to cost thousands of dollars. I'm not sure of the exact figure, but
you should have made up a number right there. I need 50,000.
This is needed. This is
you
definitely
got to
needed.
sell it. You need 50,000.
50,000.
That'll cover it.
Yes.
And lunch.
Yes, it will. But that's needed. He's the only one in Cooperstown in 1995. There should be a bust of him, perhaps down at Camden Yard. The ballpark is named after him down on Franklintown Road, but that's still not enough. I want this lady here, Mrs. Geraldine Day, to enjoy this. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. This would be a great tribute to her to have her husband's wax figure at the Great Black Wax Museum. So I need your help.
How can people get in touch with you?
If you call us at 410.
You ain't gonna swell up over here. No,
yeah,
come on.
A little bit, yeah, because I met Miss Day in 1996. I knew nothing about Negro League, and when I met her, I'm doing what I'm doing now.
What year?
1996. And Mr. Day died in 95. I never met him. When I met her, I met Miss Audrey Simmons. I've been doing what I'm doing because of Mrs. Geraldine Day, and then Mrs. Simmons came aboard with Mr. Simmons. But our number that we can be reached at is 410-597-9797.
One more time.
410-597-9797. And keep in mind, the second Saturday in the month of May is now Negro League Baseball Day in the state of Maryland. Our former Governor Malley did pass that bill on May the 7th in 2009, thanks to my daughter, Tanya Thomas.
Okay. All right. This is a nice jersey you got on.
This jersey has a symbolic meaning.
You talking about the last governor. What you want me to say? I voted for this new governor.
It's homemade. My jersey is homemade, and it tells a story. And I wear it with pride. It's just like my security blanket. When I go out and talk about Negro League baseball, it's coming from the heart. It's the passion I have, and I'll continue to do this until I pass away.
Okay.
That's homemade there.
It's homemade.
It wasn't nothing on it but just that cross
Just the word
there.
Arkansas,
And all the
and
other
the rings
stuff
on the
he
sleeve,
had
everything
to
was
put
added.
on.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. Come on up, Joy. Once you say hello. Yeah, come on, stop playing. You've been watching the Glover Report. Don't forget, put a plug in for the lady from Howard University.
Oh,
Right?
yes. Our wonderful intern, Jordan.
Look at the camera.
Oh, Jordan from Howard University.
Oh, come on up, Darnell. Dallas Cowboy fan from the District of Columbia. Darnell Lee, that's our engineer, cameraman. Big ups to Frank Johnson, to April Johnson, to Mrs. Geraldine Day.
Yes.
I got food over here.
Huh?
I got food over here, but I enjoyed it.
Okay.
He set me up good.
Oh,
He set me up real good.
She's a wonderful speaker, and she needs to be known in our city of Baltimore because of who her husband is, and what he did, and what he meant to baseball. And if you do any research on Satchel Paige and Leon Day, every time they met, you see for yourself, statistics doesn't lie, that Leon Day outpitched Satchel and beat him every time they met.
if you want to get on this show, on the Glover Report, Joy, what they need to do?
Email me.
Send a check.
Yeah, first send a check.
Big check. 'Cause we gotta take Miss Day shopping.
Yes, and email me at
She like the expensive stores for limousines and stuff.
No.
But Donnie, they can email me at wpbnetworksinfo@gmail.com.
Good deal. This has been the Glover Report on WPB Networks, the future of media. My name is Donnie Glover. Donnie Glover on Facebook. The Glover Report on Facebook and on Twitter, Donnie Be More News 1. Of course, the websites bemorenews.com and blackwallstreetnews.com. Joy, we couldn't do this without you. Appreciate you. She put up with me. We pay her well. All right. We'll talk to you next time.